Over the years, the number one leading cause of mortality here in the Philippines are diseases from the heart.
It's really important that we take good care of our heart. It carries the nutrients that we need, it carries the oxygen we need for our body to function well.
The World Health Organization reports that diseases of the heart are responsible for up to a third of deaths here in the Philippines. And for the most part, an unhealthy diet is to blame. But it's never too late to adopt a healthier lifestyle to keep our hearts strong and healthy. Let's talk about practical and effective tips to care for our body's most vital organ. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and welcome to Med Talk Health Talk. Heart disease is a growing problem here in the Philippines as well as around the world. Now, to tell us more about this, we have with us today Dr. Iris Garcia. She's a cardiologist and the current chair of the Philippine Heart Association Council on Coronary Artery Disease. Welcome to the show, Dr. Iris.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad to be on the show.
Now, Dr. Iris, when it comes to the current situation of heart health, lalong-lalo na sa mga Filipinos, in the past years, we've seen sort of an uptrend on yung mga taong nagkakaroon ng sakit sa puso, even heart attacks. Now, typically, we would think that these are elderly people, pero ang dami ng mga 35 and younger, physically active, healthy, pero nagkaka-heart attacks. What could be a possible reason for this?
I think it has more to do with our lifestyle. You see a lot of fast food chains, and then of course you have the growing trend of vaping, even in our young. Cigarettes are still there. Some of our younger generation are not that physically active in terms of exercising. So this can play a major role in developing coronary or heart problems.
Okay, so when you talk about physical activity, probably not consistent enough.
Exactly. The recommendation should be at least 30 minutes to 1 hour daily if possible. For most part of the week, 3 to 5 times a week at least.
How important is our heart? It is something that when we are born, when we are die, it doesn't stop beating, doesn't stop moving.
Exactly.
How important is it that we care for it? How big of a role does it have in our body?
Even before we're born, inside the womb, the heart is already pumping. It doesn't rest even for a single second. So can you imagine the burden that you will have on your heart if you do not take care of it? Up to when you die, the heart is still pumping.
Heart disease is definitely a big concern here in the Philippines. It's on the top of the list. What are some of the more common problems with regards to the heart na meron ng mga Pilipino?
Well, not just the Philippines, but worldwide, the number one cause for cardiovascular disease is coronary artery disease, or layman's term, bara sa puso, bara sa arteries natin. So this is the leading cause of death worldwide and of course here in the Philippines.
Big factor of that, of course, is what we eat, our diet. Now, for the longest time, I'm sure a lot of our viewers understand, okay, we get it, high cholesterol, high salt food. But lately, sugar is being one of the bigger problems nowadays.
Studies have shown na yung sinasabi nating SSB or sugar-sweetened beverages like mga milk teas, soft drinks of course, mga energy drinks. These are certain examples that are really laden with sugar, and when you take these kinds of liquid diet, as we call it, it's less filling for us. So the tendency is we keep on drinking and taking it, imbibing it, and studies have shown that this is one of the very strongly associated factor for adipose formation or fat formation in the body. And more than any other dietary factor, this is the leading cause of obesity as well, and diabetes.
With diet still being in question here, the choice of foods that people take in, describe for us the lifestyle of someone who is at risk of having a problem with their heart.
Typically, these would be those with sedentary lifestyle, not really exercising as mentioned, those who would imbibe more of the, again, sugar-sweetened beverages, processed food, which is not really healthy for us. Processed food meaning those with nitrates, canned goods, particularly those with high in sodium or salt. So these are things that can all add up in our bodies that is very bad for our health.
Are there any symptoms, especially now that we see the trend on younger people having heart problems, meron pang dapat malaman in terms of physiology, anong dapat nararamdaman nila that could be a red flag, that could prompt someone to go to a doctor and have their heart checked?
A very common symptom, of course, would be when you have chest heaviness, mabigat na nakadagan, especially after an effort, like a physical activity, you get tired and you have this chest heaviness, chest discomfort, you would feel that. Oftentimes, you would have easy fatigability or madaling mapagod, hingalin, shortness of breath. You would have these kinds of symptoms, and that's what they would usually complain.
So in general, Dr. Iris, would you say that youth can still be on the side of people when it comes to heart health? That their youth, at a certain age, they feel that they're too young to have a heart problem?
Yeah, that's the thing about it, because most young people would probably think because we're young, we're invincible, we can do anything we want. However, we've seen a lot of young people who have coronary artery disease or cardiovascular disease. When we talk of cardiovascular disease, this is not just bara sa puso, but coronary vascular problems in general, meaning you have your arteries, you have your blood vessels there, you have your veins that affect your circulation. So you can either have stroke, arrhythmia, you can have heart failure, you can have valvular heart problems as well.
Is it practical, Dr. Iris, for someone walang nararamdaman, I think I'm reasonably healthy, reasonably lang, papacheck na nga ako sa puso sa isang cardiologist kahit walang nararamdaman?
Yes, it would be prudent to do that because you can never tell if you have a genetic predisposition for certain cardiovascular diseases.
Okay, very good with that. Now, diet is also at the forefront of our heart health. When we return, we'll share tips on eating right. So stay with us here on Med Talk, Health Talk. What we eat has a big impact on our heart and, in turn, our overall health. Let's find out the right food we should incorporate in our daily diet.
Hi, I am Meryl Shane Inaval, a clinical dietitian here in Manila Med. With me is Sir Reynold Kent Pascual, a nutrition intern. Over the years, the #1 leading cause of mortality here in the Philippines are diseases from the heart, or the cardiovascular diseases. And recent statistics from the Philippine Statistics Authority that it still remains #1. So it's very alarming for us dietitians, lalo na po ngayon that there are trends, myths, and misconceptions about dieting that we also have to consider. So now we will be showing you a sample meal plan for breakfast na ideal po para sa mga person na gustong masunod ang heart-healthy diet. So first, ang ating wheat bread. Wheat breads are used para po magkaroon tayo ng maraming fiber sa katawan. It also helps you to feel full longer time. 3 pieces of half bread is the one ideal for your breakfast. Next is the vegetable omelette. Together with the egg, it has carrots and cucumbers also inside. We do not want excess fat to be part of our meals. So yun po iiwasan natin to have a healthy heart kasi isa po siya sa reason kung bakit nagkaka-clogging or plaque sa ating arteries. So low-fat diet intends to limit fat to 10 to 15% of total daily calorie per person. And for our fruit, we have banana. 1 piece banana. Included also to our breakfast is the low-fat milk. So low-fat milk is recommended for people who has a problem with the heart because it has less sugar and less fat. So here you can see what a breakfast looks like for people who wants to follow a heart-healthy diet. And now we will proceed with our lunch. So for lunch, we will be having 1 cup of white rice. White rice po kasi is the usual rice used in the Philippines. So tayo pong mga Pilipino, we are fond of eating white rice. But as a dietitian, of course, we recommend our colored rice. The brown rice, red rice, or black rice. Yun po kasi mas mataas yung fiber content nila. So you're gonna feel full the longer time. So next, we have fish fillet, pan-fried fish fillet. So iiwas na po tayo dun sa mga deep fry. Lalo na po sa ating mga patients or individuals na mayroong problem sa heart. And of course, we have our veggies. We have here eggplant, ampalaya, and tomato. Sauteed only. So, iiwas din po tayo sa pag-add ng too much oil or too much salt. And then we have 3 pieces of papaya. So, this is how it looks like. And ito po yung ideal na kakainin nyo every time kumakain po kayo ng big meals. And then, our vegetables naman are unlimited. So, not necessarily that this is 1 cup, yan lang po. If you can add more vegetables, that's good kasi vegetables are full of nutrients, minerals, vitamins, and phytochemicals that help our body to maintain health and support growth. Our body makes its own cholesterol, and that amount is known to be a healthy cholesterol. So those are good cholesterol. Pero pag nagpasok po tayo ng, for example, saturated fats like bacons, egg, or processed meats, or canned foods, doon po madadagdagan yung bad cholesterol natin. So here we have an ideal dinner for the people who have a heart disease. First, we're gonna be using 1/2 cup of rice. So kanina po, 1 cup ang ginamit natin. So for dinner, kalahati na lang siya since sa gabi wala na tayo masyado physical activities. Next we have is our protein, roasted chicken fillet. So we chose roasted as the way of preparing the food or cooking the food because it uses less oil. Rather than yung mga fried chicken natin na usual na favorite ng mga bata or kahit tayong mga adults. So, mas okay kung steaming, broiling, or grilling, pwede rin po. So, next we have is our vegetables. Our mixed vegetables po, we have here cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, and beans. Next, for our fiber, we have melons. So you can also choose honeydew or other sources of fiber or fruits, whatever is available in your household. So we have carbohydrates, proteins, and fat from roasting and sautéing, as well as we have our vitamins, minerals, fiber from the fruits and vegetables. Also, of course, let's not forget the water. Let's take 8 glasses of water each day. So us Filipinos are fond of eating out, whether to celebrate a milestone, get together with friends or family, cope up with stress, or just craving for the favorite restaurant that we like. So ang tanong po is, how often do we eat out? So here are some tips to a healthier eating habits. First, eat on time. Watch out or cut out sugar, or just use natural sweeteners instead. Shop smart. So when you do grocery shopping, don't shop when you're hungry. Kasi when you're hungry, ang tendency, kukuha lang tayo ng kukuha ng mga pagkain na kinikrave natin at that time, subconsciously. And then, plan yung weekly menu. So planning the weekly menu helps you see kung variety na ba yung nakakain mo. Also, choose fresh foods instead of the canned ones or yung processed ones. And lastly, enjoy your food. Have a connection with your food. Kasi in that way, you'll feel it more and then you'll know kapag tama ba siya sa'yo, meron bang side effects or wala. Nakita na natin kung ano ang dapat natin kainin sa loob ng isang araw. Sana po sa inyong mga bahay, ganito rin ang magawa nyo, lalong-lalo na po sa mga taong na merong heart disease.
Adopting a heart-healthy diet doesn't have to be so hard. When we return, we'll talk more about caring for our heart. So keep it here on Med Talk Health Talk. A healthy heart means a longer life, hopefully. And the good news is we are in control of many of the things that can influence our own heart health. Let's welcome back to the show Dr. Iris Garcia, cardiologist and the chair of the Philippine Heart Association Council on Coronary Artery Disease. Now I want to talk about what are ways in which Filipinos can prevent, hopefully, heart disease. What changes in their lifestyle will be the most beneficial in the long run?
The very core and heart of it all should be diet. Diet and exercise. I know you've heard of this a lot of times from us doctors, but it is really imperative that we incorporate healthy lifestyle in our day-to-day living. So this means you have to exercise 30 minutes to an hour if possible. That should be moderate activity. So what is a moderate activity? It means that you exercise to the point na hinihingal ka or hinahihirapan ka na magsalita. When you get to that part na medyo okay na, carry mo na, you have to level. You have to do more exercises. And when I talk of healthy food intake, it should be more of your fruits and vegetables, at least 4 to 5 servings of your fruits and vegetables. So we talk of vegetables, at least 1/2 or 1 cup if possible. We talk of fruit drinks, 1/4 cup is equivalent to 1 serving. So when you have a glass full of fruit drink, hindi yung sweetened ha, talagang healthy, that's already a serving for you. So hindi siya ganun kahirap gawin. But you have to consciously incorporate it into your lifestyle.
Filipinos, culturally known for their food to be high salt, high fat. Can I negate the bad effects of high cholesterol food by taking antihypertensive, anti-cholesterol medications before I eat that meal?
You just don't take medications for the hypertension unless you have been diagnosed by your doctor that you are hypertensive. For the anti-cholesterol medication also, you have to see a doctor. You do not self-medicate. It's very important that our patients understand this.
Yes, and the risk, especially when it comes to the heart with self-medicating, does not outweigh any form of benefit that you may have. Now, speaking of preventive tips, for the longest time, heart disease or risk for heart attacks was more on the male side. Women were known to have some protection because of more estrogen and things like that, which would be beneficial for the heart. Is this notion still true nowadays?
Surprisingly, some studies abroad have shown that there is a trend of women having coronary artery disease as well as the male, and more even than the male. And probably because when a woman or a female would come to the doctor for checkup, the physician trained previously to just focus on the male would not take the symptoms of the female seriously because again, she's young, she's protected by estrogen, but studies have shown otherwise. And probably this could be related to other factors like hypertension, diabetes, even depression, obesity, and so on. So, moral of the story, you have to have a regular checkup with your doctor. If you feel something, if you're a female, even if you're young and you feel something, go check with your doctor.
Okay, listen to your body, know if you have any of the risk factors, and always consult your doctor if there is a problem. Now, let's talk about that. Yung pagkonsulta sa doktor, many Filipinos, many people for that matter, takot magpatingin sa doktor, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa puso, takot malaman na may problema talaga. So what they do instead is, if they feel symptoms similar to what their neighbor has, sumasakit ang batok, may high blood to, ito yung gamot iniinom niya, it must be good for me as well.
That is a very dangerous way of doing things. Of course, pag kunyari masakit yung batok, hindi lahat ng masakit ng batok related sa hypertension. It could be just ergonomics again, like you're nakatungo lagi because you're on the computer or particular way of, doing things. Now, when you take medication that is not designed for you, either pwedeng severe yung consequences like sobrang bagsak ng blood pressure, which is really harmful for you. So I would not advise this at all.
What is the most important thing that we need to know about, especially when it comes to heart health?
It is to have regular exercise because the stronger that you make your heart, the stronger it is that it can do its work, it can pump well, it can serve its purpose. So you have to have this well-placed system in your life. Not just exercise, but again, diet as well.
Do our viewers need to have a general checkup, whether a battery of tests to know the current condition of their heart? Is that the ideal setting, or can just a quick consultation with a cardiologist get a good picture of how this person is?
It would be advisable to just see a cardiologist first before you do any lab works at all. The cardiologist will be the one to direct you what kind of tests you need. You can have just a simple ECG. You can have a battery of tests like your lipid profile, your fasting blood sugar, HbA1c, and all that stuff. But it would be very prudent to just see the cardiologist first.
Now, to wrap everything up, do you have any tips, any practical advice for our viewers, especially when it comes to taking care of our heart?
I know you've heard this a lot from us to, exercise, eat healthy. But one thing I keep on telling my patients, choose your heart. What do I mean by choose your heart? It's hard and difficult to live a healthy lifestyle. It's hard and difficult to exercise. You have all the initial physical aches and pains, but it's equally hard and difficult to have a debilitating consequence of a heart attack or a stroke. So again, choose your heart.
That's a very good perspective to look at. Thank you so much, Dr. Iris Garcia, for being with us, sharing your expertise and your time. Now remember, adopting healthy habits can surely make a difference. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and thank you for joining us here on MedTalk Health Talk.